Good evening. What's going on there, folks? Earthmaster here, jumping in on this beautiful Friday evening. It is July 16th, 2021, 6:36 p.m. West Coast time here in California. And the latest quake out here on the Earthquake 3D globe is going to be a 2.7 up in the Alaska region. Quite a bit of earthquake activity taking place in the North American continent today over the last 24 hours. This is just 2.5 and above. A significant earthquake swarm starting at Yellowstone National Park. Kind of started in the early morning hours, late last night, and it's been ongoing all day. Also a large uptick in earthquake activity along the west coast, or at least in the Sierra Nevada range, right around the Antelope Valley area where that 6.0 struck about a week or so ago now. Let's go ahead and check out some info first, starting off with the earthquake activity up in Wyoming. Now this is the 2.5. Let's go ahead and add the all magnitudes. I can guarantee you that there's way more earthquake activity than the 61 earthquakes shown up here on the map. You can probably, I'm not going to guesstimate how many numbers the earthquakes are, but man, I tell you what, there's a lot. So, excuse me. We did have the largest magnitude in this series of earthquake activity here at Yellowstone National Park underneath the Yellowstone Lake, a 3.6. That is the largest quake so far. There's been a handful of threes actually. 3.6, 3.2, another three-pointer down here, 3.1. That's some significant movement taking place there at Yellowstone National Park. Now, this is not out of the ordinary, I guess is the word I could use. They do see earthquake swarms, but it's not common. A lot of people say, well, they get earthquakes every day up there. Well, not really. They don't have earthquake swarms like this. Take a look at this. You tell me everyday activity looks like this? No. This looks like 2008 activity back in December. Look at it. It's showing up all over the park up here, to the northwest and to the southeast here. Those threes, those mid threes, showing up significantly even in Idaho, Moose Creek, Idaho area, showing on these seismographs. So let's go ahead and check out Lake Butte. Now, Lake Butte is an area probably it's a seismograph station right smack dab over the epicenter area of where this earthquake swarm's taking place. Okay, quite a bit. This looks majorly significant. I don't see any magma movement. You don't have to worry about volcanic eruptions, but it is a significant earthquake swarm. And who knows? You know, we could see a massive uplift of the caldera all of a sudden. You never know. It's 2021. The sun's been doing some weird stuff. The Earth's been doing some weird stuff. You know, Yellowstone might do some weird stuff. You never know. But no fear mongering. Right now, I believe this is just earthquake activity, not volcanic related. I don't think, unless there was magma movement coming up from the south or from underneath. But looking at the latest information on the GPS stations, I just don't see it. This is just typical earthquake activity on a large scale in a swarm. So, looking at least at this map, let's go ahead and see if I can bring up. I want to bring up an image here from. Let's see here. Let's see if I can get that. There we go. From the USGS volcano social media page, they state and this was at about 11:30 Mountain Time. An ongoing swarm with more than 141 earthquakes as of about 11:30 Mountain Time is centered beneath Yellowstone Lake. At this point, the University of Utah seismograph stations has located 40 earthquakes larger than. Okay, so it goes on to talk about this. The current swarm has some similarities to one that occurred roughly the same place in 2020. But man, it's it's not. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, here we go. Here's the article from 2020 December. I remember when this kicked off. Just a little bit of earthquake activity. The 2008, let me make sure, hold on a second here. Let me get rid of that image. I forgot I put this up on top here. Let's go over this again. This red area down here with all these circles indicating the 2020 swarm back in December 7th. This activity, tremendous amount of activity back in 2008, ending on January 6th, January 7th, 2009. That was a pretty good swarm. Lots of earthquakes. I think the largest magnitude was a 3 point, let's see here. Looks like a 4.1 may have been the largest back then. So we're quickly approaching that magnitude level. We'll see. So this area right here, this 2008 area activity in the green, is very reminiscent of kind of what's taking place today. If you look at it, maybe right on the end of this activity, maybe possibly even I don't know, in between there, maybe, possibly. But nonetheless, a lot of earthquake activity taking place in Yellowstone, folks, and it's continuing. The red circles indicating over the last hour, 3.6 and 2.3. But I guarantee you're going to add, I'm going to guesstimate here, and looking at these seismographs here, it was 144 earthquakes at 11:30 General Mountain Time. And 11 my time, so we're looking at a little bit earlier, right around 10:30 or so, I think 11:30, right? I'm in West Coast time, so about half of that, 144 earthquakes. So you can at least double it, if not triple it, in the multitude of quakes that has happened since that latest USGS news flash. Larger earthquakes, we did have a little lull, a small period right there. 21:30, it looks like maybe between 21:30 and 23:30 UTC time. A little break in the activity, and then ramping up again with some larger earthquake activity. The largest one so far going to be that one right there showing up. And of course, that was the 3.6 that just happened a short time ago. So definitely ramping up over the last hour. Things are on the increase there at Yellowstone National Park. So I'd like to cover this a lot. This topic, Yellowstone, I've been watching and studying for a long time. Probably a little bit before the 2008 earthquake swarm. And that was pretty significant, folks. That was really significant. We can go back there back in 2008. Was it 2008? I believe it was. December. Right around, we can go right in the middle of it. And you can see all the earthquake activity. This is a little bit bigger, right? These are larger quakes here. Even though the graphs look a little bit different, they are very strong when it comes to showing on distant stations, meaning they're larger magnitudes. So there's quite a bit of threes, mid threes, upper threes, including a 4.1 that had kicked off there. So, and it's roughly, it's definitely, see where it went to. It's definitely roughly right around the same area. You can see it showing up specifically over the Yellowstone Lake, and it looks very similar. It does look very similar to today's events, but not as large magnitude that was kicking up back then. So, but it could definitely could ramp up. I mean, we're seeing an increase in seismic magnitudes here, 3.6. It's going up and up and up. But the thing I've noticed with these earthquakes is the deeper ones are the larger magnitude quakes, and the more shallow quakes and the lower magnitudes. I mean, lower magnitudes are much more shallower. Deep earthquakes, larger magnitudes. Shallow earthquakes, less magnitude. Kind of crazy how that's been happening, but I've seen that throughout the day today. And we're looking at magnitudes within the 1 kilometer range down below the surface, up up to about, or at least down to 6, 7, 8, I think, 8.6 kilometers below surface. So something's going on there. I really don't want to write this off as groundwater, right? Because this water is always here. So something definitely brewing there underneath Lake Yellowstone. Could be a long-term earthquake swarm. We'll have to see how this plays out for sure. The rest of the area, folks, I know I spent a lot of time on that. The rest of the area and along the west coast, it's pretty seismically active out here along the Blanco Fracture Zone. Even the Antelope Valley area has seen a pretty tremendous increase in aftershock activity today. Let's see what we got as far as magnitudes go. 3.5 looks like it's the largest quake in the in that uptick in earthquake activity, aftershock activity. So not only seen Yellowstone swarming, but other areas that have been hit by past somewhat larger earthquakes, definitely showing an uptick in earthquake activity, aftershock activity I should say, including Nevada, down here through Ridgecrest. Minimal activity down in Southern California along the San Jacinto Fault area. I don't see any swarming, which is a good sign. But the earthquake activity as a whole along the North American plate here, especially in the western states, pretty built up. Mount St. Helens, Rainier, seeing a little bit of earthquake activity, not anything big. I will check that out with the Tremor here in a second. Some movement along the coast, south of Tokyo, Japan area, north as well, right around Manila, southeast of Manila. The Philippines area seeing some earthquake activity as well. No mega quakes, no even large quakes really to report in that region. Down here to the south, 5.6. I think that's about the largest one we've seen on the globe so far, at least on the flat map scale. Some deeper movement into the South America region as well. And not a whole lot of change out here in Hawaii. Looks about average earthquake activity. There's a little bit of movement up here near, it looks like Hawaiian Ocean View, 2.3. The latest quake there on the Big Island. But I think the main story right now is going to be Yellowstone, folks. Pay attention up here. Let's see what else we got as far as PNSN. Let's go ahead and show the volcano update real quick. Right now, they haven't posted anything new. July 1st date. I'm sure they will eventually, maybe towards the end of this month, unless this earthquake swarm significantly intensifies. I was checking out the monitoring map here of GPS stations, gas emissions, temperature readings in the Springs area. And there's not a whole lot to report here, folks. I mean, at least over the last, hold on a second here, over the last few years, it looks as though things, what's going on here? How come I'm not getting that? There we go. Looks as though things have kind of calmed down, at least in this area. Over the years, as far as displacement and uplift goes, 2006 to 2020, and it looks like they don't have a lot of data on here for 2021, but things kind of a little uplift right there towards the east, in the north. The fixed GPS station showing about average activity there across the board. But this station's, this map, or I should say this website's kind of cool to check out if you want to look at that activity for yourself when it comes to hydrothermal activity, volcanic gas emission readings. You can even view webcams and whatnot out here. It's the usgs.gov volcanoes/Yellowstone monitoring page. Pretty neat. And if you click on some of these right here, it'll give you a little bit of information on earthquake activity and deformation and whatnot. The whole works there at the USGS webpage. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to cover, folks. I think that's about it. I mean, just a lot of. Let me check the Tremor map here real quick. I'm back and forth, back and forth. It's been a pretty busy day. So movement up here, Northern California, Southern Oregon once again. Looks like 120 epicenters of tremor. A little bit of further movement into the Seattle area, or northwest of Seattle. Kind of watching that as well. That could be potentially what's at play in the Pacific Northwest when it comes to some of the surface quaking up around the region. Of course, subduction does have an effect on the volcanoes throughout the Cascades and Sierras. These are not really deep. There's somewhat of a deep earthquake there near Tacoma, 12 kilometers. But I think a little bit of surface quaking there due to the tremor activity along the North American plate here with the Juan de Fuca plate interaction. All right, folks, I'm going to jump off here. I do have, let me go ahead and show you guys real quick here, break this off. I do have a Yellowstone station pulled up. It's called Canyon, Yellowstone, Wyoming. It's just the name of the station, Canyon. And that's kind of the one to watch for. It at least picks up 2.0 and above. You'll see it pop up as some spikes on the graph. There's a little bitty one right there, but when it picks up the 3-pointers, you'll definitely know. You'll see this pretty much flat line with a spike. I tried to access a couple other local stations, but I just can't get them. For whatever reason, I'm not able to access them. But I will keep trying. But anyway, that's the station to monitor for earthquake activity. And of course, the earthquake 3D globe always showing the last 24 hours of earthquake activity on the globe. Not all of it. 4.0 internationally and 2.5 United States, North America. I shouldn't say North America, but United States and the U.S. territories. All right, guys, have a good night. Stay safe out there. I think the earthquake swarm's kind of something cool to watch, and to see how it progresses, see if it intensifies, or it could automatically just stop. We've seen those happen quite often in the past. They just you get the last earthquake and that's it. But with the increase in magnitudes that we're seeing within the last hour, it's probably a good sign that things are probably on the increase. So I don't see it stopping, at least for the next couple days. So have a good night, folks. Stay safe, and we will chat at you later. Peace out. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace.